All right, welcome back to my attempt to make good choices. Oh my god, hopefully it's not a pathetic attempt. It feels like it is sometimes. But so I was on a plane, and on that plane, and I went on the plane to go to another country. So I've been doing that for a while. So this was 2 weeks ago. So this is the earliest really chance I've had to continue with this. So hopefully I remember everything, but let's just keep plowing through. So the next section is the CPIO command. CPIO stands for copy in, copy out. It is used to process archive files such as star.cpio or star.tar files. CPIO performs the following operations: copying files to an archive, extracting files from an archive. It takes the list of files from the standard input, mostly output from LS, to create a CPIO archive. We use ls pipe -cpio -o greater than archive.cpio. The -o option instructs CPIO to create an output. In this case, the output file created is archive.cpio. The ls command lists the contents of the current directory which are to be archived. To extract the archive, we use CPIO -id less than archive.cpio. The -i option is used to perform the extract. The -d option would create the destination folder. The character less than represents standard input. The input file to be extracted is archive.cpio. The dd command. dd copies data from one location to another. The command line syntax of dd differs from many other Unix programs. It uses the syntax option equals value for its command line options rather than the GNU standard -option value or --option equals value formats. Okay, so here's dd to copy data from one location to another. So if equals full old file, and then of equals new file. This command would copy the content of old file into new file, where if is the input file and of refers to the output file. Alright, note, the dd command typically will not output anything to the screen until the command has finished. By providing the status equals progress option, the console will display the amount of work getting done by the command. For example, dd status equals progress, if for input file, so that would be the old file, and then of for output file, which is the new file. So this is kind of the equivalent of -v or whatever. It's like -v. So you can see some output while the command works. dd is also used in changing data to upper/lowercase or writing directly to block devices such as /dev/sdb. Okay, so dd input file, output file, new file, conv equals ucase. This would copy all the contents of old file into new file, new file, new, and capitalize all of the text. And we see the text capitalization with that conv equals u for uppercase. The following command will back up the whole hard disk which sounds like a good idea to me. You can get your hard disk backups here and recover from any issues. So the following command will back up the whole hard disk located at SDA to a file named backup.dd. So there we go, dd, input file, SDA, output file, backup.dd, and then BS probably stands for bit size. But yeah, that's a useful command. All right, I got to change my posture to prevent back pain, and then I will finish the exercises. All right, and I'm just going to leave everything running while I do this because it's only taking me a few minutes, hopefully, at most. Less than a minute would be ideal. Okay, so I'm back in business. Got better posture. My back will thank me for that later. Really need to. There we go. That's even better. Change the tilt as well. All right, there we go. That's about as good as it can get. All right, so guided exercises. Consider the following listing. Find. Here's the path we're finding. There we go. Okay, and then there we go. Type D. There we go. What kind of files would this command output? So directory files. In which directory does the search begin? It begins in documents. All right, so let's see if I got that right. So yep, directories. There we go. All right, next question. A user wishes to compress his backup folder. He uses the following command: tar cvf. There we go. So he's choosing to progress to compress it. Looks like it's already compressed. What option is? So this should say he chooses to decompress. Which option is lacking to, well, oh, that's interesting. Which option is lacking to compress the backup using the gzip algorithm? Okay, so we've got create, we've got verbose, and then I think this is file. Name the file. So I'm gonna go with Z. Let's see if I'm correct. Yep, got it. -Z. And I notice this is missing a dash. I'm not sure if that's valid. I think it needs to have a dash. Yeah, so you can see in other parts of the reading, and here's the full answer here, -ZCVF. You don't have to do a dash for every single option you do, but if you're sending it options, you do need that dash. So you see this was actually a pretty problematic question because first of all, the file looks like it's already compressed, and then second of all, they forgot the dash before giving it options. So problematic question, but not too hard to figure out what it looks like after it's been corrected. So these are our answers. Let's go back to the guided exercises, finish those up. So we're going to move on to the explorational exercises. All right, so as system administrator, it is required to perform regular checks in order to remove voluminous files. These voluminous files, which I assume they mean just like big files, are located in /var and end with a .backup extension. write down the command using find to locate these files. Okay, so I'll write it down in here. So it would be find, oops. Okay, so that's not a good place to type it in. Let's open up my Windows subsystem for Linux. Okay, and then we'll use the help to try to figure it out. So I think the first one is, so let's take a look at the help before we do anything else. And we'll take a look at the syntax of the command. So find, and then here's all the options, and then here's the expression. So look at the official doc here. So find, okay, and then here's the, so it's going to look like find var, like that, and then we want to look for the biggest files, voluminous files. So I'll search for something like size. Interesting. I'm not sure. I don't really see how to do this. Oh, here we go. So dash size. I mean, the thing is, like, in the modern world, it's these kinds of exams are so frustrating because, you know, just the fact of what the modern world is like. You know, we can just go into GNS, or not GNS, but ChatGPT. So yep, I was close. But then they have more that we're looking for files, not directories, with the dash type F. Okay, so I guess I could have gotten this next section because that's using a glob here, which is not a regular expression, it's a glob. And then size, let's see, this is the part that I was having trouble finding. I knew there was a size option here, but I did not know you could give it a plus sign. But, like, you know, here it is. And then the other thing is you can use exec, and you can execute a command on it. Okay, so yep, so this is the answer, and you can see, you know, in the modern world, if you have a question like that, just ask GPT, please. Like, just please do it. So let's see how many files I have. Oh, it looks like I in the var you need special sudo permissions, because that's a file outside of your user directory. So it's like a system-wide file, so you need special system-wide permissions, which you can get with sudo. Okay, and now that I have those permissions, I actually don't have any files that large. So let's see if I have any files larger than 50. None. Let's see if I have any larger than 10. None. Let's see if I have any larger than 1. None. Oh, so I don't have any named backup is the problem. What about .bak? Do I have any? None. What about any None. None. Okay. What about any .txt? Do I have any? None. At least not in var, anyways. Let's take a look at what I got in var. We can do tree-l3. Var. Oh, I don't have tree? I thought I had tree on here. Oh, see, I'm doing it. I'm not doing it on my home lab, so like, that's why. I could do it on my home lab. Let me do it on my home lab. All I have to do to get to my home lab is type lab. I spent a lot of time doing that, so. Oh. I mean, that's assuming that my home lab is still at that address. Oh, and you know what? Since I went on vacation and it kind of takes a lot of power from the wall, I actually shut down my home lab. So I'm going to pause and boot up my home lab, and I'll be right back. All right, I am back. Everything's good to go. We should have this booting up pretty soon, hopefully fast enough to be able to use it. Now it'll probably take a while for it to come up. I mean, that's fine. Let's keep on going. So, yep. So we figured that out using ChatGPT. We won't be able to do it on the test, unfortunately. But in the real world, we can do this to our heart's content. So let's move on to the next one. An analysis of the sizes of these files reveals that they range from 100 megabytes to 1,000. Complete the previous command with this new information so that you may locate these backup files ranging from 100 to 1,000. So, I mean, my guess for that okay, connection reviews there. So we can just keep using it on my local. My guess for that is you just pass it size twice. So then you do another pass, and then you do a minus, like that. Alright, so let's see if that's the answer. Let's see if it's valid syntax first. Yep, valid syntax, so that's my answer. Yep, so here's the answer. You just pass it another instance of dash size. So finally complete this command with the delete action so that these files will remove. So we saw that in the ChatGPT example. Looks like my lab might be up by now. Oh, not quite yet. Oh, yes, it is up, but as we learned, it has to boot up the daemons, or the demons. I call them daemons for some reason. I think they all are called demons though. But yeah, the SSH daemon isn't up yet, so give that some time. Don't need this help anymore. So yeah, we saw in the ChatGPT how to do that, but I'm gonna try to remember it. So it would be dash exec, and then it would be delete these commands with the delete action so that the files will be removed. So then it's just rm on this, right? I don't remember. Let's see. So it's rm-f for force. Then what's the backslash for? So it's rm. and then just an optional there, and then backslash. So that's the answer there. Oh, I guess this is another answer. Dash delete. Shoot. So, yep, okay, these are the actions you can take. All right, well, I got that wrong. It's easier than I thought it would be. In the /var directory, there exist 4 backup files. So we don't have that in my directory. You know what? Let's go ahead and create them, just for the sake of learning. Okay, my lab is. Oh, you know what else happened? I don't have it statically assigned, so it's now at 0.6 instead of 0.5. Okay. So let me fix that. Okay, I forget how I did this. I thought I remembered how I did this, but I do not remember how I did this. I thought it was under here. Didn't I have to make a registration key as well? I thought it would be easier. System 32, is that where I did it? Oh, here it is. Yeah, macros. Okay. I don't have permission. Yeah, I can't save it because I don't have administrative permissions. So what I need to do is click don't save, which they're making very hard to do. And then I need to open as an administrator. Open in terminal. You know what? I think the easiest way would be to do CMD, run it as administrator, and then notepad macros like that. There you go. And now I'm administrator, and it's sourced from this administrator shell. There we go. You know, an even easier way would be to statically assign the IP, but oh, we can see it's stuck on .5, so I think I probably need a new shell. There we go. Okay, so it's got to update the key because the key's tied to a different IP. So yeah, I could statically configure an IP on there. That would be the best. We'll just do cat OS releases or etc OS release. Okay, and then we're gonna say configure this device to have the static IP 1.100. See, this is why I asked this, because like I'm familiar with like IF config and stuff, but it's like you have to modify the netplan config files, and like I knew that. I'm just not sure like where the difference is. You can see like they make it like kind of harder than it has to be. Yeah, it used to be like easier than this, but I mean you couldn't like just share this file and like do it in a more automated, streamlined way. Okay, so there's my IPA. So now we're going to edit the okay, yeah, let's identify the interface we want. So yep, here's the one with that 6. So we want the ENO1 interface. So now we need to, okay, so let's say perfect, my interface is ENO1, rewrite the examples knowing that this is my interface. And I think it doesn't even, yeah, it doesn't even matter. Yeah, like you don't have to. Oh yeah, so here's where you would do ENO1. Let's see what they did before. Yeah, they did ENS33. So this is going to be a better one to follow. So here's my thing. So okay, and I don't see it. So so let's just ask it. I see these files. I only see the file do I need to create a new file? Okay. Oh, okay. So I can just use that. Okay. All right. So the naming is not as important, that it's actually in that directory. It can be named whatever. All right. So that's good. So yeah, let's go into Nano. And then let's do the thing that's important to do. Should know it by now. So it's CP to dot defaults. Oh, and I'm outside of my home directory, so I need special permissions to modify system-wide files. All right, and then let's copy this. Okay, so we can get rid of. You know what? I don't want to get rid of everything because. I do want the other interfaces if I happen to need them. To just automatically get DHCP. So let's do this. Gonna go into Vi, and then we're going to remove everything here. Oh, and it's read only, so get rid of that. There we go. Sudo Vi. Okay, and then we'll get rid of everything to here. Okay, and then we'll do set paste I, and then copy this in. There we go, and then WQ. There we go. Sounds good. And let's take a look at what we got now. So now it looks good. We've got the version 2 in there twice. So you know what? I am gonna take that out. Now you can see why it's so critically important to have a backup, because I would have no idea how this file looked if I didn't have that. And then you can diff it against the backup. Yep, so you can see the defaults. Yeah. All right, so next step is sudo netplan apply. All right, and then IPA. Oh, and I lost access because I'm. Wait a minute. Yeah, because it's now, if you were to do something, I'm actually a little bit surprised that no, it's because my packet. If you think of the packet, you know, because it sends it in packets. So like we can even do a Wireshark capture. You know, and we can look at the Wi-Fi, and then we can filter out the destination. DST equals IP.dst. Oh, and then it needs 2 equal signs. There we go. So, hey, you know, what's happening? Why isn't there any packets being sent to my lab? I just changed it to 100. I had an active connection to it. You know, why can't it just keep sending packets to it? Well, let's take a look at something else. So netstat. I mean, we don't have it anymore. Yeah, so I mean, first of all, it just severed the connection. So, and then the real reason is because we had, you know, if I try to do it again, and if I exit out of bash, I do lab like that. We should get TCP SYN, right? Why wouldn't we get a TCP SYN? I'm expecting there to be a TCP SYN. Why wasn't there a... Is it because it's broadcast? Okay, so here's everything there, and then I also want to look at TCP. So and then we've got a few we've got it formed to some destination. So you know what? Oh, shoot. Okay. Well, let's see. Let's disable. Oh shoot. Okay. I'm confused. I was expecting to see something else. Oh, is this it? So this is an ACK. Let's do. There should be a TCP SYN. Yeah, that flags. Here we go. SYN. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so here's all the. Now these are older here, but we should see a. Now here where we're sending an ACK. I still don't see any SYNs. I was expecting a TCP SYN to come out, but it looks like that's not happening. And I was expecting it to be sent out to .6. Like the fact that this is empty is not what I was expecting. Maybe it's because it's sending it out from a different. See, the thing is, I'm not even matching on the source anymore, though. I'm just matching on the destination, so it doesn't matter like what the source is. Yeah, it's weird. So, okay, let's ask. I think this will be really interesting. So I am using Wireshark to analyze my LAN. Okay. Analyze my LAN. Perfect. I'm using Wireshark to analyze my LAN. I set up this filter. And then I tried to connect to my lab to the 192.168.1.6 device, but nothing popped up in Wireshark. Why? Okay, so if you set it up, I tried to connect there, but don't see any packets. There could be several reasons. Yeah, so that's one I thought, but oh, you know what? Maybe that's it. Promiscuous mode. Oh, okay. Yeah, because it wouldn't be set. I think that's the issue. So let me try that. So we're gonna do stop. We're gonna do options. We're gonna go. So yep. Okay. Well, that wasn't it. Huh. Well, what is it then? Okay. Maybe that's it. I mean, so here's the interesting one. So it's not the correct IP address. Okay, well let me ask you this. Okay, so number 9 was the case. Number 9, check the device's IP was the case. But why did this prevent a TCP SYN from being sent? Wouldn't the fact of a misconfigured IP on the destination device only prevent the ACKs from being returned and not the SYNs from being sent? Yeah, that's what I thought. Right, exactly. I'm gonna have it read this.
If the destination device is configured correctly and is listening on the specified...
Yeah, so it doesn't matter that it's misconfigured. Yeah, that's weird. So let me have it read this out because it's...
You're correct in your understanding of the TCP handshake process. Regardless of whether the destination device has the correct IP configuration, the source device should still send out the TCP SYN packets if it's trying to establish a connection. The destination device's configuration would affect the receipt in response to those SYN packets, not the sending of the SYN packets from the source. Here's a breakdown. SYN sent. The source device sends a SYN packet to initiate a connection. SYN received. The destination device receives a SYN packet. SYN ACK sent. If the destination device is configured correctly and is listening on the specified port, it sends back a SYN ACK packet. SYN ACK received. The source device receives a SYN ACK. ACK sent. The source device sends an ACK, completing the three-way handshake. If the destination device's IP is misconfigured, the SYN packet from the source will still be sent out. However, the destination device might not receive it if the IP is not correctly configured or if it's not part of the same network, subnet. Even if the destination device receives it, if it's not correctly configured, it might not know how to respond or might not send the SYN ACK back to the source. So, if you didn't see the SYN packets in Wireshark when trying to connect to a misconfigured IP, the issue might not be with the destination device's IP configuration.
Right.
Instead, it could be related to how or where you're capturing the packets or some other factor in the network. For instance, if you were capturing on the destination device itself and it had a different IP than you thought, you wouldn't see the SYN packets because they'd be destined for a different IP. But if you were capturing on the source device or somewhere else in the network path, you should see the SYN packets regardless of the destination device's configuration.
Yeah, but I'm not capturing on the... I'm capturing the packets sent and received on my computer here and here. You know, I'm capturing the packets sent and received on the Wi-Fi network interface card of this device. So there should be a packet sent to you know, that's how it knows that there's not a connection available, because it sends out the TCP SYN and it never receives an ACK. That's why it takes so long for it to fail out too. But nope, F me. My understanding, although correct according to the all-powerful benevolent AIs that will kill us all, it just still doesn't work that way. So I guess it's maybe because it's Wi-Fi 2. Is there a Wi-Fi 1? I mean, the thing is, like, there's a lot of activity, so like this is the only one that has activity on it. I don't have other interfaces set up and working. Okay, well, that's weird. Well, let me try it. Let me try to change it. That is so weird. Oh, you know what I have to do? I have to go here, run this as an administrator, and then notepad, macros.txt. Okay, and now at least I got this part figured out. Won't have to deal with that annoyance again. Oh, you know what? I have to open a new command prompt. Man, that's so weird. I mean, oh, okay. In this case, you know, I don't have the same. Okay, so here we go. Now we got it. So, sin, ac. Oh, and we don't have the synac. So this is the handshake right here. Sin, and then the synac would be coming back. So if I change the destination to .3, the ow. But the thing is, we're and you know what? It's not a. So it'd be like an. I don't know how it would show up. Maybe as the ac. But the thing is, I've got all kinds of. I mean, we can just do like IP equals that, so it gets like anything. Oh. Oh, we have to do. Okay, there we go. There we go. Now we're getting there. And then we have to do another. Okay, so now we've got the relevant stuff. So so here we see the sin ac message. So I guess what we could do is tcp.flags.ac. We need 2 ampersands. Oh, okay. I don't know how to get this. No, okay. I don't know how to just search for that one. But I mean, this is fine. We get the full handshake here, so we can do like follow a conversation. Yep. And now we get the. If I do like a enter key. Does it update the conversation? It doesn't. Can I do like a refresh on it? Or I can do a hello world. Yeah, so this is my hello world. But it's not is it your no raw maybe will do it. Oh, so this is the raw hexadecimal. Or oh, here's the hex dump. I'm pretty sure this is it. I mean, it should be an ASCII. Maybe this is the enter key. I mean, if I just spam like the number 1 a bunch of times. Let's try that. Alright, I guess I'm not sure what I'm looking at here. Alright, so sorry, I'm just kind of getting distracted. Things aren't really working the way I thought they would, or maybe they are, but they're just not showing up the way I thought they would. So let's keep going and try to close this out. So okay, so the next part is in the var directory. There exist 4 backup files. There we go. So we're gonna create those files in the var directory. So cd var sudo touch just to create an empty file, db jan 2018. So I think we know when this documentation was made. It was made in 2018. Not that out of date. 5 years, kind of out of date. In the good old days, World A, before the pandemic. All right. So now FEB. Okay. March. MARCH. April APR. Alright, and then using tar, specify the command that would create an archive file for all of those files. So we're going to do tar help. So we definitely need so we're going to make an archive file. So it's going to be I think -a. Use archive file. I think it's -a, right? I don't know. Lowercase a. Let's do this. Oh, you know what? It's not that. Oh, it'd be -c to create the archive file. Okay, and then the f -f. What does that do? Okay, there we go. So that's to extract from the. Okay, so this is the key right here. So it would be tar -cf, and then all the db files. So we can just specify that like that. Oops. We do need that, and then we need to. Yeah, I think we need to give it the name of the thing. So it's this right here. No such file or directory. Okay. Oh, I think we have to do it in the other order. Yeah, because we're creating the archive here, and then we're adding files to the archive. The files we're adding are db star. There we go, and now we've got the archive there. So let's do a zcat. Can't do it. Oh, there we go. So it's just gobbledygook. So let's do a zcat on it. It's not in So you know what? I think I'm happy with my answer there. Let's see what we got. So we don't have the V, but that's okay. We don't need the V. So yeah, I mean this is what I did. I just didn't list them all out. I just did the glob. I did globbing, but I think globbing's fine. I think I got the same result, which is right here. So I could do an extract on it. Dash X. There we go. And now it's extracted. At least I thought it was. Oh, you have to have the dash F. You know what? Let's do this. Let's do this. So I'm going to do RM DB space, and then we're going to glob it. So we're going to have 0 more characters up until backup. And then we're gonna have the $sign. So let's just do a ls first to verify that my globbing syntax is correct. Nope. Globbing syntax is incorrect. So okay, so here's appropriate globbing syntax. So now we can do dot backup. Okay, there we go. And now we've only got them. So now let's do a remove on all those. Yes. And we have to do a sudo because it's outside of my workspace. There we go. And now we can do the command that I tried earlier. 2024. Oh, and we need a sudo, I think. Oh, we need the F. We need the F. There we go. Get rid of that sudo. And now, there we go. The files are back because I restored them from the archive. All right, so the next question, using tar, specify the command that would create the archive and compress it using gzip. Take note that the resulting name should end with gz. So let's clean up the archive that we have now. Yes, and then we're going to I have to do a sudo on that. There we go. And then it's going to be just like the command we did before. The one here. So like 2000. Yeah, so 2018 here. So I'm going to put that in there. There we go. But we're going to have to add another option. So the option, from what I understand, is Z, and we'll add the V as well. There we go. So now it shows us the files that got put in there. Oh, and it looks like Z was not the correct one. Oh, you know what? It's an uppercase Z. Okay, so I got that wrong. I did a lowercase z. It was supposed to be an uppercase Z. So we'll move that archive again. RMDB first. There we go. And then we'll do the same command with an uppercase Z instead of a lowercase z. Okay, so something's going on with the compression. It's not able to do that, so that's obviously not the command. All right, so let's see what other options we've got here with tar. Okay, so here it is. It looks like I had it correct. So it should have been dash lowercase z. Oh, is it because I put the name in there? Oh, you know what? I think it's because I to create the. All right, I gotta see the answer to this one. That's what I did. Oh, you know what? See this name. So here's why this is confusing, because I created this file and I named it this, but this file is a .tar.gz. So like, it doesn't have to be named that to be a .tar.gz file. Like, yeah, see, because it's compressed. So the reason it's named, this idea that it's resultant, it's like, sure, yeah, it's resultant based on the name I gave it, but it's not resultant based on the fact that it is compressed and archived. Like, when you compress and archive, a series of files, you tell it what the name is. So, like, yeah, you should put .tar.gz so that people know, but whether or not it's a .tar.gz file is independent of what you actually named it. And I wish I could freaking figure out. All right, so help me with this. If I compress a file in bash and I don't name it .tar.gz, then is the file still .tar.gz? If it is still that kind of file, even though it does not have a name with that syntax in it, then how can I tell that it is in fact a .tar.gz file, even though it is not named as such?
If you
Yeah.
compress a file using tar and gzip and bash but don't give it the tar gz extension, the file is still a tarball compressed with gzip. The extension is just a convention to help users and some software tools recognize the file type, but the actual content of the file remains the same regardless of its name. To determine the type of file without relying on its extension, you can use the file command in Linux. The file command examines the file's contents and provides a description based on what it finds. For example, if you have a compressed file named mystery file, you can determine its type with. If mystery file is a gzip compressed tarball, the output might look something like. Or if you decompress it with gunzip and then run file on the resulting file, you might see. This tells you that the file is a tarball, even if it doesn't have a tar extension. In summary, while file extensions are helpful for quickly identifying file types, they are not strictly necessary. Tools like file can examine the actual content of a file to determine its type.
Man, why wasn't it let me? But yeah, so you can see you would use you can't even use yeah, so you can't even compress, like you can't feed it into the appropriate tools if it's not named that way. So it has to be named that way to be recognized by the tools, but it doesn't have to be named that way to be the file type that the name represents. So kind of a interesting thing, and something you need to know, because if someone's screwing around in the system, has no idea what they're doing, and they creates this, you have to, if you do a file star on it, you have to see what kind of file it is. So you can see, oh yeah, they just named it incorrectly. It's at the very least a gzip. So let's rename it. So now we know for a fact that it's a .gz file, so we're going to rename it. We're not going to use move. We're going to use mv to rename it, and then we're not in my user directory, so we have to do that. Okay, so now we know it's the gz, so let's unzip it. Gunzip. And everything has to be sudo because we're in the system-wide files. Okay, so now if we do file, there we go. Now we know it's a tar. So we can say not only did they name it incorrectly and not doing the gz, they also forgot the tar. So now we can rename this using the move command because that makes sense. And then to tar, and everything needs sudo based on where we are in the system. And then now we can do a tar -x on it, and then we need f as well. And we can remove all the backup. Yeah, we can use that like that. Yes, 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 and everything we do needs the sudo. So let's do it again with the sudo. Okay. Okay, and now it's frozen for some reason. Yeah, it's just completely frozen. So rm that backup sudo. There we go. So now we can do a tar -x for extract. And then we need the sudo for everything we do in here. And there we go. We got all the files back. We've got the tar back. So you can see the power in having this here. And in fact, it's not just, you can see the power in not having it. Then you won't know what kind of files you have on your system. So this is key to know. You have to know the basic commands on the system. Otherwise, you won't be able to tell when somebody names something improperly what the actual file type is. We also see something pretty interesting here. We see that 3 of the 4 files that we created are empty files, but one of the files is actually an archive somehow. I'm not sure how that happened. It was, but without this command, I would never know. I would never know that it was a problem to begin with without that command. So really important command to know, the file command. The most important thing is to get this naming right, but if you're a system administrator in a complex system with all kinds of users on it, you can't really expect that. You've just got to know your stuff and be a competent system administrator. All right, so there we go. So we did everything. We decompressed it. We compressed it. Compressing is yeah. So we did the it like that. And now we had to give it this name ourselves. It's not a resulted name. It's the name we gave it. And in order to feed this into later tools, it has to be named this way. So it's really not optional. You can create the compressed archive without naming it this way, but you can't feed the compressed archive into tools if you don't name it this way. And you can't even tell whether or not it's a compressed archive at a glance. You have to use a special command named a file in order to tell that if you don't name it correctly. So name it correctly, please. Let's not go through this. All right, so summary. In this section, you learned how to find files with find, how to add search criteria based on time, file type or size by supplying an argument to find, or arguments to find. How to act on a returned set, how to archive, compress, and decompress files using tar, processing archives with CPIO, which I do not remember, and copying files with DD, which I also do not remember. Why not just CP? Okay, so why not just use the CP command?
B. DD command and the CP command both can copy data, but they serve different purposes and have different use cases. Here's why you might use DD instead of CP. Raw data copying. DD can perform raw, byte-for-byte copying. This is particularly useful for copying data from block devices, like hard drives or USB drives. When you use DD to copy a disk, you're copying everything, including the boot sector, partition table, and any unused space. This is not something CP is designed to do. Creating disk images. Related to the above point, DD is often used to create exact images of disks or partitions. This is useful for backup and cloning purposes. Writing directly to devices. DD can write directly to devices, e.g. dev, SDB. This is commonly done when creating bootable USB drives from ISO files. Conversions. As we mentioned, DD has the ability to perform conversions on the data as it's copied, like changing the case of text or converting end-of-line characters. Find control over data transfer. With DD, you can specify the block size, PS, for reading and writing, skip blocks in the source, seek to a position in the output, and more. This level of control can be useful in data recovery scenarios or when working with raw disk data. Performance. In some cases, especially when working with large amounts of data or block devices, DD with a specified block size can be faster than CP. Historical reasons. DD has been around for a long time and has a history of being used for low-level data copying tasks, especially on Unix systems. While DD is powerful, it's also often referred to as disk destroyer because if used incorrectly, it can easily override important data. The CP command is safer for general file copying tasks because it operates at the file level rather than the blob level. In summary, while CP is great for copying files and directories within a file system, DD is more suited for low-level byte-for-byte copying tasks, especially involving block devices.
All right, so there's the answer right there. Good answer. DD, you're going to be feeding it inputs more like this here, a whole device. CP is more like for files within that device. And then the other thing is any metadata, anything like that might not be copied over by CP. You're getting a full byte for byte copy when you use DD. CP might leave some things out. All right, so that's it for this video. Good video today. Really happy with the tangents I went down as well. I'm going to refresh myself a little bit on C. Okay. Oh, so this one's easy. It's for archived files. Yep, that's it. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.